Well, hello, and welcome to SoulTech, the fabulous group of people who are helping level each other up with positivity and honest conversation about life struggles and beauty.
What's up, everybody?
Hey guys, happy February.
Right? Ah,
Yes.
this
Or is it a happy February, guys?
Ah,
Well,
we
we
were
made
talking about
we're
this
here.
Yeah.
before we went live. A
Mhm.
lot of people are struggling. February is a tough month for a lot of people. I know seasonal affective disorder really goes up in February, and there's a lot of chaos in the universe. So I think this is going to be an interesting month for a lot of people.
Well, it's kind of the
hmm
darkest time of the year too. It's like, the coldest in the Northeast. It's like you're really over winter by now. And like you said, not to mention then the craziness on top of all of that. So it's real. It's real.
It
But
is. I've been struggling all day with just kind of um I'm disturbed. I'm like physically and energetically disturbed by the I guess it's not the darkness, it's the apathy, it's the roboticness. It's I just feel like, especially in the colder regions, like everyone's just kind of pushing themselves towards this finish line. But also really tapped out of energy. I think February is also a time when you tap out of energy. So it would make sense that, seasonal affective disorders get spiked. It's dark, it's cold, it's been cold for a really long time. The flu is really bad. The food sucks. The prices are really high.
like I need good food.
Oh
You,
my God.
I have
I've
to tell
never had
you,
more bad food.
I
I don't
know.
really know what's
I
happening.
have to say, as a side note on the food thing, the price difference between New York and Florida is shocking. I cannot believe the difference in the cost of food. Wow.
Well,
That
that's
it's
everywhere in New York,
more?
my love.
And it's a lot less here,
Oh,
Yeah.
which isn't normally true, which just
I'm
tells
much
me
better.
how much price gouging is going on. Sorry, you guys, that was a side note.
But I mean, we're here doing what we're here to share ways to kind of combat and get over this period, right? That's such
Yeah.
a drag for so many people, and I think that's what this group was founded for. And that's whether it's with us or with your own trusted circle of friends. This is one of the best things you can do is not be like unrealistic optimist. It's happening,
Yeah.
it's real. What can
Yeah.
we do?
No, absolutely. And I'm glad you said that because that's what I was kind of thinking about coming on here. And I almost put myself in a place of like, okay, well, what positive thing? And it's like, we're here to be really authentic and share from a place of transparency and realness. Like, just because you have maybe we're in environments where we have more tools at our disposal to break out of states like that. And that doesn't mean that they don't happen.
Yeah.
I've been actually dealing with guilt today, guilt about because I'm noticing certain people that are close to me and in my work environment really wilting, just struggling because of everything we just mentioned. And then also me going, and I'm definitely ready to go to the sun, and then thinking, damn, like most people that I'm talking about have experienced a lot more winter this year than I have because I do make sure I get out and, get myself by water or whatever when I'm feeling tapped out. And that's something actually that I don't want to feel guilty about. It's actually um it's a breakthrough that I had and decided that I would live my life being committed to my self-care, and that when that happens, what there is to do is slow down and do something pleasurable or something healthy because they're not mutually exclusive.
Right.
Clearly.
Yeah, and it is that time, and so, I'm just really hoping that we can share some strategies and some tools that will, um,
Yeah.
get people motivated to get out of that funk, and sometimes that is going deeper into the funk, to be honest.
Yes, I love that you just said that. So I'm going to share really quick with you guys my reality wheel, which is something if you've ever heard me speak at any events, I talk about this a lot because it was sort of this aha moment for me, which I think will help you guys. So I have moments I can struggle with anxiety and depression, just like anybody else, and I definitely have historically been somebody who struggled during the winter. When I get triggered or I get see myself sliding into kind of like a grouchier or less high vibrational mood, I really think through the reality wheel. So our thought habits are at the core of our life experience. So our thought habits, which are gifted to us by our families usually, and some of our experiences when we're younger, our thought habits create our mental state, and our mental state creates our emotional state, and our emotional state is energy and motion. Energy and motion, emotion, that is our frequency and vibration. So if our subconscious or conscious thought habits are not healthy and they're not quality thoughts, whether it's consciously, we're on this carousel of thought, really like, working ourselves up into a bad mood about something, or whether it's subconscious because we might have gotten triggered by an experience that reminded us of something that really hurt us when we, in our past. If we're not aware of that, we'll create a bad mood for ourselves, and then we'll start to cycle through that, and then we attract negativity to us. So if you're struggling at all, you find yourself getting triggered, just remind yourself that you command your thought habits. So replace the unhealthy thought habits with quality thought habits, and that's going to create a lovely mental state. And that mental state is going to create a beautiful emotional state, energy and motion, and that creates a wonderful frequency and vibration. And that's the radio signal that you're sending to the universe. You'll get more of that back. So if you find yourself triggered, you need to do something that's going to allow you to change that energy up. I know
That's
you guys have some great methods for this.
that's the important piece, what you just said about changing it up. When you listen to law of attraction, I always feel like you're not talking about the missing piece. Um, I think that one thing that stops people in their understanding of love, the way that we attract things into our experience is that, someone could say, well, how come the bad stuff we think about happens, but not as much as the good stuff? Because I think the missing piece is that you actually have to be in a state of receptivity and believing that it is possible. It is a lot easier to think, I'm going to miss my train than I'm going to hit the lotto. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we believe
Mhm.
I'm going to miss my train, and those thoughts a lot more often um, than the positive ones. And that's why I feel like shadow work is such an important part of manifestation and of, just vibrating higher, because you can't bypass it. You can't just go, I feel horrible in every way right now. My entire body hurts and my brain is screaming. And then go, but I'm going to think about unicorn. Like, that doesn't work. You need to
Mhm.
sit and you need to actually, let me just share really quickly. A few days ago I'm driving and I was feeling good. I was feeling okay. And I love to drive and listen to loud music. It's very therapeutic for me. Someone called that immediately triggered like a bad memory. And I was like so angry that I had to shut off the radio so I could think about how angry I was. And then I thought, this is exactly when I would want to pull over and have a drink, when I'm feeling like this. And I decided that I would keep the music off and just feel what I was feeling. Like,
Mm.
literally just like, I was like, this is what you don't want to do. Do it. Like, just feel all of the frustration, all of the stuff. And I swear, like, by the time I got home, I had burned through. I was tingling from head to toe because I just allowed that energy to be. If I would have pushed it away and put on a song that makes me happy, that would still be there lingering in my system.
That's
Mm.
great, Fab. I love that. And
Mm.
I think one thing you can do when you sit in it like that and you really face it is actually use the emotional alchemy to reframe what's happening into what is this teaching me? Like what am I getting from this? Like and if you're really in it, figure out what that lesson could be as
I
well.
didn't even do that because I was so the discomfort, right? The discomfort makes you want to disconnect. And so
Hmm.
I stayed with the feeling and I didn't allow myself to think about why that person or what they were going to. I just wanted to go into the sensation. Right? And that could be different for everyone. For me, especially with sensual living being at the forefront of my commitment to, how I live my life, I need to feel the unpleasant sensation because it's like at the end of the day, that is that is more what we're avoiding than anything else is the feeling in your
Yeah,
body.
yeah,
The same way
uncomfortable.
that we avoid orgasmic and good feelings.
And being uncomfortable in general. Like we don't want to be
Right.
in that space, so we avoid it rather than just facing it and getting past it.
Yeah.
That's a good one. What else? Well, Fab, self care is one thing that I think you do very well, and I think you have to in your profession. And being such an empath, it's been something that I've really enjoyed witnessing you do because it's it's infectious. It makes me think more about it. So I think that that's another on the flip side of you sitting in it. You also seem to really be adamant about taking time out to do that, and I think it's. I mean, we all could do more of it, but it's very impressive to watch that. I just have to say because it does feel infectious and it makes me more aware. Something I feel like I kind of not avoid, but don't do as much as simply taking a bath. I bathe.
Mhm.
I
Right,
bathe. Let's
right.
not get it twisted. I do bathe, but a bath. You
You
know,
haven't sat in the bath.
Right, right.
so I enjoy that along with many other things that you may or may not want to share with us, but that was.
No, but that's why I wanted to share the guilt though,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
that I think is present for a lot of us, and particularly if you're not in a great financial situation. It's like, well, how can I like I do an adequate amount of self-care now because I've trained myself into it, but that doesn't mean that oh, you really shouldn't be doing this right now because you could be finishing that, you know, that paper you were I'm saying it to say that we need to be present to that, know that that's an old story,
Mhm.
and still do the thing,
Mhm.
not let the thing stop you.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you brought up the bath because I think for a lot of times when we get triggered or something happens and whatever it is, a moment where we start to spin into negativity, it can be difficult to come up with something that will help you. That's why it's nice to have like a list of things that you can do that will really help you shift your energy. So you can't always it takes practice to replace your unhealthy thought habits with healthy thought habits. So one of the best ways to do that is when you find yourself is not necessarily to sit and analyze it to death. It's to change your energy up. So I this is my some of my favorite ones are I put music on and I sing at the top of my lungs. I put on my favorite dance music and I boogie my way across the kitchen. I turn it into a disco. The other day, something I had gotten some bad news about something, and I was on my way to the gym. And the old me might have been like, "Oh, well, that's a good excuse not to go to the gym." But I went to the gym because I knew that if I went and worked out, I would exercise the frustration that old version of me still comes out sometimes. Um, Going for a walk and taking a hot bath is one of my favorites. I love taking a bath.
Mhm. Loving it more and
That's
more.
are great.
I'm not necessarily. I'm not always. I think to get out of that shift before I'm ready to do high kicks and twirls and spin around the apartment. Um, Honestly, just it could be as simple as taking some time out to stretch. Like just stretching and consciously breathing through stretching, and ideally yoga. I mean, hands down for me, that's always a shift for me. And I'll share this. I think it was during the pandemic that I experienced my very first anxiety attack. And it was really interesting because I didn't know what was going on, where it was coming. Well, I know where it was coming from. It was like everything in my head. It was too much at once. Never ever experienced anything like it before. And then I just started to breathe deep. And then my body, as I'm like stretching up, my body finds itself in this yoga position with my hands in prayer position behind my back,
Ooh,
which opens up your heart, and allows that free breathing. And it just seemed like everything seemed to just kind of fade away. Like my body did that on its own. I didn't guide it through that. It just felt like this is going to subconsciously make you feel better. And it truly did. It got me
Not
through.
even subconsciously, it clearly
Yeah.
did,
I
like,
mean, it did
consciously.
well. The subconsciousness, I guess, was the idea to move into that position
mhm,
because I was
mhm.
just stretching and breathing, but exhaling out of the stretch, finding myself in that, a kind of awkward position that you don't just fall into
Intuitively, because yeah,
intuitively.
intuitively, because that's why we don't think ourselves out of states.
Mm,
Because if you get your brain out of the way, I would say
your body
find
knows
whatever
that
it
you,
is that gets your brain out of the way. Because once your
yeah.
brain
Mhm.
is out of the way, your body that knowledge is intuitive. It
Yeah.
already knows.
Yeah, yeah. You know what's something interesting? I used to spend an extraordinary amount of time, and I still can do this if I want, but I really did spend an extraordinary amount of time in my head. I would lay down at night and I would stay awake until like 2 in the morning thinking about all the things that I got to figure out how to manage that and do this. And if I act this way, this will turn out that way. I mean, it was type A personality, like big time. It was also trauma induced from my experiences. And since my spiritual transformation and my practices, I am rarely ever in my head, even to the point where, the carousel of thought, I don't get on it. And I
Mm.
don't find myself like circling, and it is such a relief because I didn't realize how soul sucking sitting around 5 hours a day trying to manipulate life to get it to turn out the way that I wanted
Right.
to, how exhausting that was. And it's nice to be empty headed.
Free of, yes, yes, 100%. But that's where I guess sensory activation comes into play too, because it could be the very simple things of, engaging your senses
Hmm.
on, and we kind of touched on this the last time with the mindfulness cocooning during this time of year. And I think it's
Well,
sort of
we
goes,
are ready. We are ready for whoever wants to join us in unraveling that cocoon and putting on some pretty wings. I'm so ready for this. We are finally ready to drop our link, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Let me see if I can. I'll actually put it in the comments section so people can click on it.
Yeah.
So they can go to the GT. So to back up for a second, we need things to look forward to in life. We need dreams. If you don't already have new dreams, if you're not manifesting your new dreams, you definitely, it's something you should do. You'll definitely get the chance to do it if you join us in June 4th through the 8th when we have the GTFU Dominican Republic retreat, which we're super. I
Woo!
mean, it's going to be this is
yeah.
going to be
It's gonna be
sexy and
so good.
fun, and
Yeah,
we're
planning for it now already feels good.
yeah, and
Right.
revitalizing.
It is
And
important to have things to look forward to, Cynthia. That's a really good point, especially after like this month in particular, after there was so much going on for months, and then you're almost like in a postpartum depression after, after holidays. I mean, January and February are just January and February.
right.
Postpartum.
Maybe St. Patty's Day some people are looking forward to, but how about just being in the sun with us who are like super
Right.
committed and coming up with so many amazing techniques and workshops that we're excited to share with you.
Yeah. Not only are we going to have fun and we're all going to let our hair down and talk real around each other. Like, I think that's one of the things that I haven't liked about a lot of the types of retreat things that I've been to is it was overly structured and very kind of like formal and stiff. And it was like, I want to have fun. I want to have a good time. I want to talk real around people and have honest conversation and exchange ideas and share what we've learned with each other. And I think that's what's so exciting about the retreat that we're doing. Sensual living and how to just really reignite your life. That's something to look forward to.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Fab, I saw you just bought tickets for March. The tickets were
I
like
bought all the tickets.
no, but I saw you got like JetBlue flights for like 130 each way or something like that.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, if you book them right now, it's about 140 one way, both ways. I just didn't book it back because who knows when I'm coming back? I don't know.
I
Right.
mean,
I'm surrendering fully to sensual living this year, you guys.
I love it.
Seriously.
Well, let it rub off. Well, Cindy, definitely put it in the chat so
Yeah,
people can
yeah.
go check out the site, see a little bit of what we're planning. And we're continuing to add to it as new experiences become a part of the program. So
Yes.
continue to check it.
Yeah. It's glowthefup.com
.com,
for those of you who are sitting at your computers. .com?
US.
Sorry,
That's
thank you.
okay.
Sorry about that, you guys. It's glowthefup.us, and that will take you to the retreat page so you can check out some of the things that we have planned. And we'll be dropping new announcements about it, but you need something to look forward to for this spring to pull you through the winter. So go check out GTFU at
Hmm.
There you
glowthefup.us.
go. All right. Happy hump day, kitty cats.
See you someday.
Bye, you guys. We'll be back
All
more
right.
soon.
Ciao, guys. See ya.
Bye.